Welcome adventurers to another epic expedition with me, Mr. Allen. Today we're heading out on a circular walk that's packed with rocky ridges, wild weather tales, stunning landscapes and even a few spooky legends. We're kicking things off in Greenfield, right at the edge of the Peak District National Park. Our mission, a 9-mile loop that takes us up the dramatic cliffs of Indian's Head, past Alphin Pike along the Wild Chew Ridge beside the hauntingly beautiful Chew Reservoir, back down through Duffstones. Grab your boots, we're walking through time, nature, geography and even a bit of a ghost story. Let's go. This first climb takes us through a patchwork of moorland and gritstone. Let's stop for a moment. Do you notice a change in the landscape from roads and buildings to open fields and rocky outcrops? This is a brilliant example of how human geography changes into physical geography. Human geography is all about towns, transport and how people live, but up here, this is the domain of the elements. Moorland like this is shaped by wind, rain and time. Hi guys, welcome to another walk with me. Today I'm going up Indian's Head, well known locally as Indian's Head. Its correct term is called Alphin Pike. Now the landscape shifts, the air cools and the land rises steeply beneath our feet. This steep slope leads us to Alphin Pike, a rocky peak that marks the start of Indian's Head Ridge. At 469 metres high, it is a serious leg burner, but the views from the top worth every step. Now here's where it gets interesting. The name Alphin likely has Viking roots. Norse settlers came to this area over 1,000 years ago and left their mark in place names. Alphin may come from Alf's Hill, Alf being a Norse personal name. Some say it's connected with the word Alfa, meaning elf or spirit, which is where things get a little spooky. Local legend tells of a ghostly sightings on Alphin Pike, whispers on the wind, shadows among the rocks. Is it just the wind or something older, watching from the ridge? That's up to you. And get this, there's also an epic tale of giants. Long ago, before humans walked these hills, the story goes that the moors were home to giants, huge beings who shaped the land. One giant, Alphin, fell in love with a beautiful woman named Edra, but she was promised to another, the jealous giant Rimmon. Rimmon, enraged, hurled a mighty rock at Alphin, killing him. Devastated, Edra threw herself off the cliffs. The rocky ridge became known as Indian's Head, the profile of Alphin lying in eternal rest. And some say Edra's ghost still wanders the moors, mourning the loss of her love. It's myth, of course, but myths are powerful. They help us remember and respect the landscape, and they make it come alive. From Alphin Pike, we follow the ridgeline south, a true adventure trail. To your left, steep cliffs drop down to the valley floor. To your right, rolling moorland stretches for miles. This path is exposed, and it gives us a perfect chance to talk about weather and climate. Up here, we're in a different microclimate to the village below. It's windier, colder, and can be wetter, all thanks to the elevation. Every 100 metres you climb, the air temperature drops by about 1 Celsius. That affects what can grow and what animals can live up here. Keep your eyes open, you might spot a red grouse, perfectly camouflaged in the heather, or hear the curlew's eerie call. These uplands are a priority habitat protected for their rare species. Now look to the far side of the valley. You can see how the V-shaped valley flattens out. That's a sign of glacial erosion. This whole area was carved by ice during the last ice age, Massive glaciers scrape through the rock, creating these dramatic ridges and deep bowls. You're walking through the evidence of ancient earth-shaping forces. Coming up in a minute is Chew Reservoir, sitting like a puddle in the sky. Chew Reservoir was completed in 1912 and was the highest constructed reservoir in England at the time, over 500 metres above sea level. Now imagine building a reservoir up here. In the days before modern vehicles, workers carried stone tools and supplies up that steep winding road we're about to descend. They built rail tracks and even temporary village to house the builders. It was a brilliant example of human geography responding to physical geography, making use of natural basins to collect and store water. Let's do a bit of science. Reservoirs are part of the water cycle, a concept from the Key Stage 2 curriculum. Rain falls on the hills, runs down into the streams, collects in the reservoirs and is treated before reaching our taps. Then it returns to rivers and back into the sea. It evaporates and starts the whole thing again. Nature's recycling system. Now we head down the long road from Chew. This descent gives your legs a break, but it's also a brilliant chance to reflect on how humans interact with wild landscapes. This area is managed by United Utilities and the RSPB to protect water quality and wildlife. They control erosion, restore peat bogs and encourage native plant growth. Let's talk about peat. It's not just mud. Peat is made of ancient, partially decayed plants that store carbon. That makes peatlands vital in the fight against climate change. If they're damaged, they release that carbon, but if we restore them, we can help the planet. This butterfly is a European peacock butterfly. It's beautiful. Soon we arrive at the Dovestones Reservoir. It's a popular spot for walking, birdwatching and picnics, but it's also a key site for learning about ecosystems. Dovestone sits at a meeting point of woodland, water and moorland that creates rich biodiversity, meaning loads of different plants and animals living together. Look out for kestrels hovering above the trees or even peregrine falcons nesting in the cliffs. Now we're following the intake road back to where we started. The landscape softens, trees rise around us. You might notice how the stone walls and fencing change, signs that we're moving back into more managed farmland. Time for a final tale. This area is home to the legend of the Saddleworth Boggart, a shape-shifting spirit said to lead walkers astray in the mist. Some say it appears as a lost hiker, others as a flickering light, and when the fog rolls in, even experienced hikers can find themselves walking in circles. Is it just nature or something more? This is where map skills matter. Contour lines show height. Close together means steep, far apart means flat. Grid references help us pinpoint locations, and compass directions help us stay on course even when the boggart tries to confuse us. So that's the end of our walk today, but here's your mission. Next time you head out, don't just walk, explore. Use your senses, your curiosity and your brain. Can you identify a bird call? Can you read a map? Can you tell whether the hill was shaped by water or ice? That's what being an explorer is all about. Not just going somewhere, but understanding it. Thanks for coming along on this adventure with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the story with a fellow adventurer. Until next time, keep climbing, keep questioning, and above all, keep exploring. See you soon. Bye.